Hi everyone, I'm Steve Wiss, otherwise known as Meatmansoccer, and welcome to my latest FM21 Journeyman video. And the big news is we are staying in Egypt. So I resigned from Meatmansoccer at the end of last season. We applied for a number of jobs worldwide. And what was interesting me, we applied for, I remember I said in the last video I was quite happy to stay in Egypt. I would love to take one of the top 5 sides in this league. And the Pyramids job came up, and you know that job really interested me. I applied for it, didn't really expect much from it, but they did give me an interview. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get that job. They actually hired the Wadi Degla manager called Niki Papa Vasilou, which of course meant that the Wadi Degla job became available, so I applied for that. Applied for a few other things around the world as well. The only other team that gave me an interview were Waterford in the Irish League. So basically, we're not able to go to the places. We can't quite get even interviews with certain clubs at the level I want to be at yet. So anyway, Pyramids offered me a job interview, so I thought, you know what, I'm sure Wadi Degla would. Maybe because I'd recently managed in Egypt and impressed there, that kind of helped with the fluent Arabic as well. But what I decided to do on this occasion in the interview, I wanted to really give myself a good chance of getting this, was I thought, you know what, I'm going to overpromise. I'm going to maybe even offer them some promises as well. So what I did, I said I will not apply for any jobs whilst I'm in charge. So if I apply for another job while I'm in charge of this club, I will get instantly sacked. I think I offered another promise as well. I can't remember what it was, but I don't think they're holding me to it. But basically, I've sold myself a bit high, because I was really desperate to get this job. I actually said in the previous video, this team suffered defeat in the Egyptian Cup final last season and heartbreak. They were 6 minutes away from winning the Egyptian League. I said I would love to take this club and win the league with them. And it's almost like a dream come true. I'm staying, I know this league at the minute. Wadi Degla have hired us anyway. So here we go. Eyebrows have been raised. Always is eyebrows raised, isn't it, when you get a job somewhere you perhaps you're not expected to. Let's have a look then. No honours won. We can be the first to actually win some honours with this club. We've got a 25,000 capacity stadium. Great training facilities, good youth facilities, average youth recruitment. This is the supposed best lineup. I mean, I don't know if they've lost players from last season, things like that. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? Let's keep going. Anyway, they want us to finish in the top 4 places. I get that, and I totally understand that. They want us to reach the final of the Egyptian Cup. The Egyptian Super Cup, apparently, I didn't even know there was one. It's not important. So, let's have a look then. Are we going to have a press conference? Yes, we are. Players in the last year of the contract. We'll have to have a look. We're going to have a look at these players soon. Season expectations seems fine to me. Tactical direction required, we know that. Let's just have a look at these promises that I have given. No club job applications. Only 181 days left though. So that's less than that's about half a year, isn't it? So we can. All right, I presume it was gonna take place throughout the whole of this period, but that's fine by me. I mean, this is the first time I've looked at this squad. Let's just see what the actual reports are. Who's the best player? Mahem Mustafa. He's done well, hasn't he, last year? Unfortunately, now there was a player they had. Is this the guy, Gomar? He had an amazing average rating last year. Yeah, he was the best one in the league. I'm looking forward to managing him. We've got work to do for sure, but let's have a look at the finances. They are in debt, 2.5 million in debt actually, but we've got a decent enough wage budget. Financially not good. It's a concern, isn't it, about the finances? It really is, but we don't have to repair the club's financial damage, so that's something to consider, isn't it? Projection's not good at all. Where are we in the season preview? I think, yeah, we have started that off now. So where are we in the season preview? We are 5th in the season preview. Of course, we're interested to face our old club on it, Meatmansoccer. But I'm here at Wadi Degla now. We'll come back for another video soon. Well, a continuation of this video, should I say? As we get on the eve of the start of the new season, well, I'm going to assess the squad, tell you about any transfers I do. As far as I'm concerned, this is my best chance to win meaningful silverware so far in this save. That I don't think we can necessarily. I mean, they finished. Let's have a look at their, where they finished. Second last season, they should have won the league, like I said. Sixth the season before. It may be that somewhere in between this is their true level, and there's some really good sides in this Egyptian Premier League. I'm setting myself a 2-year plan to win this league, or win silverware, let's say, here at Wadi Degla for the first time. We want to bring them silverware. I don't want to leave this club until we win silverware. It would take a really good offer, so I'm happy to be even for 3 seasons, I think. You know, it's a journeyman say, but I'm almost set myself 2-3 seasons at this club. The only downside that I see is the finances, but I don't think many clubs are in a great financial position in Egypt. Even Al Ahly, their bank balance isn't that high. Pyramids were in financial trouble last time I heard. All right, they're better now, but you know, financially, yeah, there's a concern about that. Zamalek are at 1.56 million in debt. So yes, we've got this, but hopefully, I mean, we've maybe got players that are worth some money. Could we sell them? We've got a player that's worth £1 million here, Mustafa. You know, there's guys worth 800k. We could maybe get out of debt potentially. But yeah, more. It'll either be a separate video or a continuation of this video. I'm not exactly sure yet. But yeah, more on the squad building and the transfers very soon. So, what I always like to do when I'm at a new club, I don't know about you guys, I just like to have a really good look around. I don't like to advance any days straight away or anything. Just have to have a really good look at the team you're in, whether it be, you know, at the start of a brand new save, but especially if you're a new hire, it's a new job within a save, and because it always amazes me how bad the state some of the teams are actually in, both on and off the field. Like, the AI can really mismanage certain teams. It depends what league you're in, of course. But anyway, we're staying in Egypt here at Wadi Degla. It's a team that lost out the league title on the last day of the season. They finished second. So I do believe that actually gets them into some sort of African qualification thing. I don't know exactly what. Anyway, what I'm more interested in here now is the squad and the finances and everything, the staff. And the first thing, you've got to look at the finances for me. 2.5 million in debt, which is not good at all. The wage budget is 34,800 and we're spending 38,000. So we're 3,200 over the wage budget. There's 0 in the transfer key. And there's 37,000 in the scouting budget. Now, that's trouble. Now, we can ask the board for more money. Well, not yet anyway. But we're not going to be able to ask the board for more wage or transfer budget for probably a month or two at least. And usually when you're in a new job, the board are not going to listen to you, especially when they're 2.5 million in debt. We've got to work our way. If we want to add players into this team, they've either got to be for nothing, as in a loan from somewhere that's not going to cost us a penny, or we've got to reduce this wage budget down. Not just got to get it down to the limit, we've got to get it probably down, you know, at least 2,000-3,000 down to give us some wiggle room in terms of buying new players. So we've got to somehow reduce this wage budget by 6,000. The other problem is 0% of the transfer revenue is made available. So even if we sell in players, we're in trouble. Now, the only thing I will say, if you do sell players, you might give you more leverage with the board to say, okay, hold on a minute, I've sold this player for however much. Come on, we need you to play ball now as well. Sometimes that can help you out. So this is not going to be easy. It's the side that's finished second in the league, but there's financial problems, clear financial problems. Quite where the financial problems are, I just think it's a problem of Egypt. I mean, the income across the whole year is, you know, sponsorship has actually just come in. Otherwise, they were nearly 3 million in debt else, weren't they? So it's kind of good. We've more got to look at last season's income. 329,000 on sponsorship. That's actually gone up from last year. Fundraising, it's never a good sign when you're fundraising for 130,000, is it? TV revenue is next to nothing here. Season tickets doesn't look like they're going to bring much in. 14,000. It's not a big thing in Egypt. Prize money, 400k. I'm not sure where they got that from, but that's not a bad number. Oh yeah, they got to the final of the Egyptian Cup, you see. So that netted them 212,000. We can't guarantee that again. And the league finish got them 182,000. Players sold 23k. Other 200. I mean, gate receipts only brought in 200,000. It's not a lot, is it? Where's the main expenditure then? Player wages. 1.8 million they've spent on player wages last season. That's just too much, isn't it? You know, when you think about it, if the wage budget for 40,000, you know, 40, 80, 120, 160,000 a week. Sorry, a month roughly. Maybe more, 170,000 a month. That's what it equates to. That's just too much. 1.8 million pounds. Loan repayments and interest. Have we got loans as well here? Yeah, there's a bank loan. 61k a week. No, sorry, 7k a week. I mean, dear me. This is financial trouble. Staff wages 396k. We've accepted a fairly low deal here, as lowest as we can. Loyalty bonuses look a little bit high. Tax is high, I would say. Youth setup is, you know, 181,000. It's quite a lot. Scouting costs not much. Transfer, we spent 125,000 on transfers, quite a lot. Match day expenses 153k. Bonuses 451,000. This is not a club that's going to be making profit. I mean, they're projected at the end of this season to be 4.12 million in debt, and I can believe it. Looks like the club's roughly losing about 1.5 to 2 million every year, which, how do you stop that? You know, you don't. I think this is financially a difficult league unless you've got a sugar daddy or something. Like, there's no investments at all. Unlike when we were at Masar Al Makasa, they were putting investments into the club. The chairman was. This chairman's not. So this is actually going to be a much harder job than I thought it was going to be. Wadi Degla, and maybe that's why the other manager jumped ship to Pyramids, because he knows that he's going to get more backing there. Anyway, the squad itself then. I've come. This is the initial formation. This is one of the formations I used last year, and it's the closest one that sort of resembles the possibilities. We're going to have a look at. I look at the contracts to see who we overpay and who we're not. Now, there isn't any players in these. We're paying at 1,500 plus. That I'm like, I want to cut them. All of these players are worth their weight in gold, in my opinion, or worth what they're on. So this is probably the lad that I'm thinking maybe we could cut him. 1.5k a week, 32-year-old winger, a veteran winger. He's aging. He's not going to get any faster, is he? But his average ratings are pretty solid across the board in this save. He's over 7 every year. He's slightly dropping though. He's someone we can maybe cut and maybe get a few 100,000 for. Is it going to help us? I don't know. But anyway, but in terms of actual player abilities, this is what we have. Mustafa is the best player. He's a young 18-year-old. He's worth 1.1 million, which I'm guessing is a lot in this league. He gets in the dream team for season preview. Last season he didn't really tear it up as you would have thought last year. 34 appearances, 9 goals, 7 assists. I'm pretty sure if I have him for the whole season he will go crazy, but there's interest in him. Benfica are the club that are interested in him, and he's already getting concerns that he should be moving to a bigger club. Minor issue. That's minor at the minute. It could become major if clubs come knocking on the door. What the hell do we do if Benfica come in for a bid here of $1 million? If he's worth $1 million and Benfica come in for him, I don't think we can turn it down. The actual club itself might turn it down. So what do? We somehow need to get out of. We need wriggle room in the transfer budget and the wage budget. It's difficult. But there's some good players here, though. There's no doubt about that at all. If we look at ability, the goalkeeper is pretty solid for this level. There's some players like Abdullah Gomar, for example, 7.64 rating last year, 17 goals, 11 assists. I mean, his profile doesn't look remarkable, but at this level he clearly does very, very well, doesn't he? You can play him on either wing. I've noticed there's a lot of players at this club who are right in their prime. Actually, they're either some very good young talents or they're right in their prime. They don't tend to be that many veterans, and there's not many in that sort of 20 to 25 age bracket who are just up and coming and approaching the prime. Most of the key players, like, you know, the goalkeeper's 30-year-old. All right, the goalkeeper's 30-year-old. Ahmed Beckham here, he's 28-year-old centre back. Most of the guys that I would be starting here, 29-year-old, 29-year-old, 27-year-old, 32-year-old. You know, these are guys that are sort of in their prime, mixed in with youngsters like Mustafa, Rahman, who's 18, Al Sayed, who's 18. This is probably a rare exception, the left back Akarugu, who's 23. Now, this is interesting. I love my youngsters in game, but I don't. When players are starting to knock on the door of 30, I'm thinking of selling them. Most clubs I'm at. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that here. But as I say, it's an interesting sort of age range. Just have a look at the ages. You have this. We're going to try and sell Magaba, by the way. He's definitely someone who's on a wage that's way too much for what we want from him. He's knocking on the door. Take him out. We've got 32 down here to 27. A massive bulk of a squad is from 32-year-old to 27-year-old. And then we only got 4 players in this bracket. Actually, just say three players in this bracket between 21 and 27. And it's unbelievable. One of them is this guy here, Rudolf Menza, who looks a useful sort of. You can play either side or up front. Bassem Walid, who's a right back. He could easily start, to be honest. He could easily be our right. Sorry, not Walid. I'm looking at the wrong guy. Akaruga, who we looked at before, and then Wiliti Yunusa, 23-year-old midfielder, who's sort of, I'd imagine, sort of a backup player at this level. I think he started like 5. Oh no, he actually started most of the games last year, so maybe he's someone that we need to be looking at, Yunusa. If I actually would be starting, but and then this youngster Amir El Halawanani, again a wide player, sort of off the bench really. But it's a funny squad, isn't it? Like, you've got it's I'm not calling it veteran by any means, because there's only one player over 32. It's just a core bunch of players who are in their prime of their careers. Absolute prime. And a winger, what's their prime age? 25 to 30? 25 to 31? We've got them. Defenders, what's their prime age? Probably not around the sort of 28 to 31-year-old range, yeah? Goalkeeper, prime age? 30? Maybe a little bit more? You know? And then we've got these exciting young talents who have got a lot of potential and ability. So, you know, here's the centre-back I told you about, the 18-year-old centre-back. So, it's an intriguing mix for me here at Wadi Degla, and I feel like with the wage budget as it is, I would really want to cut some players, give us some wiggle room to buy players of my own. But there's not many here that I want to cut, because I just like what I see. It's a squad that's finished second in the league last year. It's almost in this ready-to-win stage now. Not much needs to be added. The problem is we can't add anything if we want to. We need the financial position to improve. My initial impression is this as a formation. I think it's definitely going to be a back 4. There's no wing. Let's go to the team report. If we look at the squad depth for all positions, goalkeeper, we've got a good goalkeeper and a decent enough backup. We don't need to change that. Wing back left and wing back right is probably the weakest spot in the whole squad. So we're not going to do wing back. So a back 5 doesn't make sense at all. The fullbacks are actually fullbacks, not wing backs. That's their main strength. So I think we'll be a back 4. We've got options in D mid. I think we have at least 1 D mid, maybe 2, maybe 1 D mid. Midfield centre, we've got options, but it's not. This is probably one area I'd love to improve on. Is probably centre mid. I think it's probably the one area. Mustafa's not going to play there if he's playing. If we actually manage to keep him, we've got an abundance of players who can play wing, right or left. The problem is you can only play one on the right and one on the left, can't you? You can't play two wingers in the game on the right hand side. We're almost too loaded here in this position. Probably have to convert one of them into a mid for sure. And then we've got a bunch of young strikers. We could go two up top potentially. We could be looking at 4-2-4 here. We could be looking at 4-3-3. We could be looking maybe even 4-4-2. I feel, or we could be looking sort of 4-2-3-1-ish. It's difficult to say. There's definitely gonna have to be. This is a wingers team. We're not going to be playing through the middle here. It's going to be wingers, or inside forwards or whatever. There's definitely going to have to be someone here, and there's definitely going to have to be someone there. It's not going to be a narrow system in that regard. Just a question of, do we go with someone here or do we go with two strikers? We could do 4-2-4 with D mids. We could do 4-2-4 like this. I said 4-4-2, but I don't think we can do 4-4-2 because of that. But I feel like one of the wingers needs to be an inside forward, not out and out wingers. So it's going to be interesting to see what we do. We could look at something like this, perhaps. One D mid and one centre mid. We could look at that, perhaps. A sort of a variation on a play of a 4-4-2. Sorry, 4-2-4. That I quite like that, to be honest. Something like that, but we're definitely going to be having, I say, the wingers up front. Do we have two strikers? I don't know. A lot depends. Do we keep this guy Mustafa? I don't know. Anyway, let's just look at the staff briefly. I mean, it always amazes me. You go into a club and just how badly they run. Like, they've got gaps for so many coaches here. There's only one director of football. Sorry, there's one chief scout. That's it. We're allowed two scouts. We've got a head physio and a chief doctor. Nothing else in there. It's shambolic. We're going to have to look at staff straight away, which really frustrates me. One more thing. You wouldn't believe it. The first match is against my old club, Master and Macassar at home. It's written into the script, isn't it? Incredible stuff. Season preview's up, and we're fifth. We are one of the top 5 clubs in the league, no doubt about that on paper. Big part of that is Mustafa. My concern is we lose him, even for $1 million. We're not going to get any of that. We're zero of it. Losing him will not help us, unless the board then agree to, you know, improve things. So I don't know. It's gonna be more of a challenge than I thought here at Wadi Degla. I was talking about a 3-year project. I'm not sure we can solve these finances in that time. It might be a short-term thing. We give ourselves one season to win the league. You know, we try and hang on to the key players. They're in their prime. Scraffle some sort of free loan from a decent club somewhere and build from there. That's my plan going forward. Anyway, the next video will be on the eve of the season. There's 71 days until the start of the league, and I will come back and inform you any dealings we've done, any things that have changed, and the tactical system that I've decided to do, and then we'll go into the league and set to run. But it's not going to be as simple as I thought. There's going to be a lot of hard work, challenges, and my initial thoughts are probably a bit different to what I'm thinking now. But anyway, thank you very much for watching the video. Appreciate it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you've not already, and follow me on the socials above. And don't remember, on that Twitch channel, Meatmansoccer, I'm live most weekdays around 2 PM UK time with a save. Currently Albion Rovers, but it might obviously be some new saves going forward. But yeah, until next time, stay safe, take care, and I'll see you around. Goodbye.